Before we begin this morning prayer, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like this video. God, I don't feel steady today. My thoughts are already running faster than my breath. My shoulders are bracing again before I've even left the bed. I haven't checked the news or the messages or the calendar, and still, something inside me is shifting, as if I'm standing on sand, as if the floor beneath me could move at any second. And maybe it's not even the day itself that's unstable. Maybe it's just me. The way my soul trembles without warning. The way I try to ground myself in things that never asked to be foundations. People, productivity, control, approval. And no matter how much I try to stand firm, it only takes one unexpected wave, and I'm back down again, spinning, reaching, scanning for something solid, So I'm here, not because I have answers, not because I'm ready to fight through the fog, but because I need a ground that won't shift beneath me. I need something more stable than my own resilience. I need a God who doesn't move even when everything else does. Be that today, please. Be the thing I can stand on, lean into, fall against. Be the place that doesn't move when I do. Be the constant beneath the chaos. Because lately, even the good things feel unstable. The smiles feel short-lived. The plans feel fragile. The peace feels temporary. One wrong word, one bad hour, one unexpected change, and I'm off balance again. And I hate how easily I'm thrown, how quickly I spiral, how hard it is to tell truth from fear when I'm already dizzy inside. I try to anchor myself in logic, in reassurance, in effort, but none of it holds, none of it lasts. And that's why I'm here. Not for another coping strategy, not for a pep talk, but for you, for the only presence that's stronger than the storm. So be my steady ground, God, not my inspiration, not my backup, not my occasional comfort when I've tried everything else. My ground, my footing, my I will not be moved, not because I'm strong, but because you are steady underneath me. I don't need you to change the terrain around me. I just need to know that when I plant my feet in you, I will not fall through. I will not sink. I will not drift into confusion again. I will remember who I am, whose I am, where I stand. And maybe that's what I've forgotten. Maybe that's why everything feels shaky, because I keep measuring stability by what I can manage. I keep anchoring my peace in circumstances, in responses, in whether or not I feel in control. But none of that was ever meant to hold me. None of that was ever meant to carry the weight of my soul. And I'm learning, slowly, painfully, deeply, that real stability doesn't come from things that change. It comes from you, from your voice, from your breath over chaos, from your hands beneath my trying, from your presence that doesn't flinch when everything else collapses. So today, I don't ask you to make things easier. I don't even ask for clarity. I just ask for center, for solidness, for the inner knowing that I am not untethered, even if the ground shakes. I ask that your spirit hold me in place when my mind starts to drift, that you anchor me when my emotions start to tilt, that you remind me I am not defined by what's happening around me, but by the one who holds me through it. And maybe the ground I need isn't beneath me. Maybe it's within me. Maybe it's within me. Maybe it's not something I stand on, but something that lives inside me when I'm rooted in you. The stillness deeper than panic, the truth louder than fear, the trust stronger than the next wave. If that's who you are, if you truly are the immovable center, then I don't have to fear the shaking anymore. I don't have to fix every instability around me to feel whole again. I don't have to make everything quiet to hear you clearly. I just have to return to stillness, to grounding, to you. So here's my prayer. whispered through the noise, through the motion, through the dizzying pace of a life that rarely waits. God, be the strength beneath my feet, be the calm within my ribs, be the voice that steadies my hands, be the truth that stills my breath, be my steady ground. God, it's not just the world that feels unstable, it's me. The way I react to things I used to handle calmly, the way I can't tell if I'm overthinking or actually in danger, the way even small decisions make me second-guess everything. I can't trust my own instincts the way I used to. Can't tell the difference between wisdom and fear, between caution and paralysis, between discernment and doubt. I used to feel centered at least sometimes, but lately I feel like I'm floating inside myself, unsure of what's real, what's right, what's safe. And I know that kind of disorientation doesn't come out of nowhere. I know I've been stretched thin. I know I've carried too much. I know I've ignored my own need for rest, quiet, direction. But even that self-awareness doesn't steady me. It just adds to the swirl. Another layer of "you should be fine by now" on top of an already crumbling structure. And I can't keep piling that weight on my chest. I can't keep measuring my peace by how well I perform under pressure. I need something deeper than that. Something more true. Something that doesn't shift based on how I feel or how others perceive me. I need you. Not as background, not as emergency, not as afterthought, as core, as center, as the unshakable axis around which everything else can tremble but never fall apart. Be that for me today. Be that when my breath shortens for no reason. Be that when I stare at the screen and forget what I was about to do. Be that when I speak too quickly or freeze in silence. Be that when my hands feel disconnected from purpose, when my heart beats like it's running from a danger that isn't even here. Be the voice that speaks calm into my nervous system, not by explaining the fear away, but by anchoring me through it. Because that's the kind of strength I need now. Not strength that demands I feel better, but strength that helps me stand even when I don't. I don't need you to stop the shaking. I need you to remind me that even in the shaking, I'm held, that my worth isn't in how still I look, it's in how real you are. That I don't have to fix this state to be safe. I just have to return to center, to you. Not above me, not beyond me. So be the ground inside me, God. Be the deep, steady place where my soul remembers I'm not the sum of this anxiety. I'm not the fear I haven't explained yet. I'm not the mistake I made in yesterday's rush. I am not the question I don't have an answer to. I am not whatever fragile version of myself this storm is trying to name. I am yours. I am anchored. I am not drifting, not because I feel strong, but because you are steady and you are in me. And I know that doesn't always change the sensations. The pressure still comes. The tension still lives in my chest. The doubt still loops in my mind. But even if the waves keep coming, I can learn to stand differently, to stand on what doesn't move, to stop letting fear be my footing, to stop letting urgency define my direction, to stop letting what if be the voice I follow. Instead, let me listen deeper. Let me root into what doesn't shake. Let me trust that the foundation is stronger than the noise. Because I'm done trying to manufacture peace. I'm done trying to outthink instability. I'm done using mental effort to pretend I'm grounded. I want the real thing. I want the kind of grounding that outlives my coping mechanisms, the kind that makes no sense to anxiety, but still silences it, the kind that doesn't rely on my circumstances lining up, or my brain catching up, or my emotions calming down. I want you. I want your spirit to rise from inside me, like stillness in the middle of sound, like calm that doesn't ask for permission, like home that doesn't disappear when the weather shifts. So be my steady ground. right here, in this breath, in this ache, in this body. I'm still learning to trust, in this soul that's been through more than it admits, in this mind that runs loops around the same questions, in this space where I stop pretending I'm okay and start believing you're here. God, I've lost count of how many things I used to lean on that no longer hold me. How many certainties became questions? How many plans dissolved mid-step? How many relationships changed without warning? And I don't know what to do with all this space now. All this room where structure used to be, where timelines used to live, where people used to stay. And maybe that's the scariest part, not just the loss itself, but the way it leaves me adrift, like a compass without north, like a rhythm within beat, like a story that forgot its middle. I've tried to rebuild. I've tried to anchor myself in new routines, new truths, new strength, but it all still feels shaky. Even the good things, even the right things, like my hands can't grip anything long enough to feel settled, like my soul keeps waiting for the next shift, the next shake, the next piece of the world to slide out from under me. And I'm tired of living like that, tired of waiting for collapse, tired of bracing, tired of carrying my weight on a floor I don't trust anymore. So I need something deeper than footing. I need foundation. I need a place where I can land without wondering if it will hold, a center that doesn't change when the map does, the voice that stays the same even when mine shakes, a presence that doesn't exit when things fall apart. God, be that for me now. Be the solid place under the parts of me that don't know what to rebuild. Be the weight-bearing truth beneath the questions I can't answer. Be the center when I don't know where forward is anymore, when clarity doesn't come, when the path blurs, when identity stretches and past roles don't fit and nothing I do feels familiar anymore. Be the God who doesn't flinch, because everything else is shifting. Expectations, assumptions, the names people once called me, the roles I filled with pride, the energy I used to have, the clarity I used to trust. And when it all slips through my fingers, I want to believe there's something, someone who isn't shaken by my uncertainty, who isn't surprised when I lose my rhythm, who isn't disappointed that I'm not who I used to be. I want to believe that I can bring you this version of me, the one who's quiet where I used to be. Sure, the one who questions where I used to teach, the one who needs holding more than leading. So hold me, not just in comfort, but in identity. Let your steadiness name me again. Let your voice remind me who I am when every other voice gets quiet, when titles fade, when definitions change, when the ground I built my story on has cracked and shifted and slipped. Let me find myself again in the only place I was ever safe, in you, not in what I do, not in what I give, not in what I know, just in you. Be my grounding when no one else knows what to say. Be my certainty when the next step is unclear. Be the page that remains when the chapter ends. Be the whisper that holds when the plans unravel. Be the God who doesn't need answers to offer presence, who doesn't need performance to offer peace, who doesn't need movement to offer meaning. Because maybe the question isn't what's next. Maybe it's, where do I stand while I wait? And maybe the answer isn't found in clarity. Maybe it's found in you, in stillness, in trust, in the decision not to rebuild too quickly, in the quiet miracle of not rushing, of letting the shaking settle without trying to fix it, of letting your hands hold the frame of my soul until I feel safe again to rise. So I'll wait here, I'll rest here, I'll breathe here, not because I figured it out, not because the future is clear, but because You are here, and you are steady ground. God, something in me is still shaking. Not loudly, not in a way that others can see, but deeply, quietly, constantly. It's like an invisible tremor in my chest, an undercurrent in my bones, a small but steady wobble in the core of who I am, and no one else knows. They see me upright, functioning, smiling even. But inside I'm not standing. I'm just bracing. I'm just trying not to fall apart where anyone can witness it. I don't need crisis to feel unstable. I don't need bad news to feel unsafe. Sometimes the hardest part is just holding my own weight, being in my own body, sitting in my own thoughts, moving through a life that feels unfamiliar, even when it looks the same. And I don't even know how to pray about it anymore. I just know this. I can't keep pretending that I'm okay. Not here. Not before you. Not in this quiet, where all my masks fall off. So, I bring you what's real. The nervous system that won't reset. The breath that never fully deepens. The tired eyes that don't want to open to another uncertain day. The ache of being almost fine, but never quite grounded. The way I keep whispering, I'm fine, while my soul is waving a silent flag of surrender. And you don't turn away. You don't ask me to name the cause before you offer peace. You don't require clarity before you give comfort. You just stay. Still. Close. Solid in a way that I'm not. You become the steady ground inside me, not waiting for me to fix the surface. You plant your presence beneath the fracture. You speak quiet into the vibration. You hold the tremble without asking it to leave before it's ready. God, this is the kind of strength I didn't know I needed. Not power, but place. Not resolution, but rest. Not strategy, but stillness. I don't need you to tell me how to move forward today. I just need to know I'm not untethered, that I can sit in this space, unhealed, uncertain, undone, and still be held by something that doesn't shake with me. Something that's not disappointed in how long it's taking me to come back to center. So be that for me. Be the soft bottom of my fall. Be the hand under my slow descent. Be the steady whisper that doesn't rush me to recover. Be the it's okay to stop here. Be the presence that sees my endurance and calls it enough. That sees my stillness and calls it holy. That sees my unraveling and doesn't flinch. Because I've unraveled before, and I know how to hide it. I know how to reassemble myself in time for the next conversation, the next responsibility, the next performance of composure. But I'm tired of hiding my humanity from you, and tired of pushing through when what I need is to pause, tired of appearing strong when what I'm actually craving is softness, a softness that doesn't ask why I'm here again, a softness that doesn't compare today's weakness to yesterday's strength, a softness that simply says, you're safe, right now, like this. So if I do nothing else today, let it be this. Let me collapse into the truth that you are my steady ground. Let me unclench. Let me stop fixing. Let me remember that stillness is not stagnation, that silence is not absence, that trembling is not failing, that you don't need me to be allowed to stay close, that you don't leave just because I'm quiet. Let your nearness become weight in my bones. Let your faithfulness become rhythm in my chest. Let your strength become the floor I rest on, the air I breathe in, the truth I remember when all other truths feel like shifting smoke. Let this moment, not the perfect one, not the powerful one, be the holy one. Right here, in the tremble, in the stillness, in the knowing that even when I shake, you don't. God, this isn't the kind of day I wake up eager to conquer. I'm not standing tall with clarity or ready with answers. I'm simply here, more aware of the subtle tremble than any great storm, more familiar with the quiet drift than any dramatic collapse. And maybe that's what makes this morning so tender. It doesn't look like a crisis, but my soul knows how much I need you right now, not as concept, not as distant reassurance, but as the only ground that doesn't shift beneath me. I've spent enough time trying to patch together a sense of stability from routine, from people's approval, from short-term certainty. But even those comforts, as kind as they are not enough to keep my soul from floating when life turns unpredictable. I need something more than balance. I need anchoring. Not just in what I do or who I love or what I hope, but in who you are and who I am in you, when nothing else holds. So today, I'm not asking for still waters. I'm asking for steadiness inside the waves. I'm not asking for silence outside, only a deeper quiet within. I'm not asking for control or even confidence, only enough awareness to feel your presence under my feet when everything else becomes uncertain. Because I'm learning that peace doesn't always mean things make sense. It doesn't mean the shaking stops. It means I've found something that doesn't move even when I do. And that's you. You've been that for me before, in the breath between decisions, in the room after the news drops, in the middle of the night when no one calls but you remain. You've been the voice that doesn't rush, the patience I can lean into, the place where I don't have to hold myself together just to be welcome. So let today be marked by that same simplicity, not a display of strength, but the quiet permission to stay soft and steady in your nearness. Let me move slower, not because I'm failing, but because I'm grounded. Let me respond with less urgency, not out of apathy, but out of trust. Let me walk through this day, not bracing, but breathing, not defending, but depending. I don't need this moment to feel holy. I just need it to be real. And what's real is that you're here, still, constant, not above me, calling me higher, but beneath me, keeping me from sinking. I don't have to climb my way into worthiness. I don't have to earn stillness by performance. I don't need to push past my weakness to access your strength. I only need to stay aware, stay honest, stay rooted in the truth that you haven't gone anywhere. That even if everything else becomes unfamiliar, you don't. So as I move into this day, or if I don't move at all, let that be the ground I return to. Not a mantra or mindset, but a person. Let me remember that stability is not a condition I create, it's the result of being held. And I am held, not because I figured anything out, not because I'm full of courage, not because I've planned well or prayed perfectly, but simply because you are the same.